Hi friends, it's Susan Smith with Stamp Creatively. I am going to create one of my camp cards for you again. This was my inspiration. I love this Pattern to Party Designer Series paper. It's a hostess only paper. It goes with a lot of our cardstock, as you can see. It has colorful patterns on one side and black and white on the other. So I like it. So I'm going to show you the card I created, and then I'll show you how I did it. So here's the card. I have a fly in my office, so if you hear something buzz around, it's a fly. I can also open my doors and you can hear the cicadas if you want, because they're loud today. I used the Lighthearted lines for my sentiment. There's a lot of them that I think are hilarious. This one's the one I used. It says, "Thanks for lending an ear and keeping a straight face." I have friends like that. So I've done a hostess only stamp set. I've done, a hostess only designer series paper. I've done one of our inspiration stamp sets. And now I'm going to use two different dies. My goal with this camp was to show a lot of different things they might not have noticed in the catalog. And these two are dies. This one is called the Stitch Greenery. And these are dies that aren't necessarily associated with stamp sets. So I wanted to show them something they might not have seen in the catalog. This is called, picture this. It's got one that does 5 circles and one that does 3 rectangles at the same time. So that's how I got the look on the card. So let me show you my Big Shot Magic first. So I took my Stitch Greenery die, and this is one of those ones I look at in the catalog and I go, yeah, I'm not going to get that because that's going to mean I've got to get all those little pieces of cardstock out after I run it through my Stamp and Emboss, my Big Boss. So I want to show you after you run it through the Big Boss. You got no little pieces. Oh, it's just fantastic. There's no teeny tiny pieces to get out. You just have this fantastic pattern. So this is the inside because it's poked it in. This is the upside, and it's a little bit harder to see because it's just some stitches. It's just a little bit harder to see, but it just pushed through the cardstock just a little bit. The color I'm using is Flirty Flamingo. So now I'm going to run this through again because I want to cut out the rectangles. And I put new plates on just a couple of times ago. They were so warped. I used my Stamp and Emboss machine a lot. So I cut those out now. So this is my card base, but I want some white to put in there. I can try to stamp on those little squares of my white base to my cardstock, or I can make some separate squares so I can stamp on those and then just put them in there. So that's the way I'm going to do this. So these come out, they're stitched, and when you have the stitching on the dies, you have to pop them out. So let's get rid of this. And let me show you how I created this card. So I'm going to take my Whisper White or Basic White, I can't remember what it's called now, my bone folder from the Wonder Basement. And what I decided to do was to take these foam adhesive strips, and I decided to use those to go around my card because I wanted it to stand up just a little bit more than adding the dimensionals. And this does it in between the strips because I would have had to add just a ton of dimensionals, and I didn't want to do that. So I decided to add these. I need some more. Sounds so cool. So I'm going to add this across here. And I'm just going to put a couple little pieces on the side, just so it doesn't sink. I could also put a piece of our window sheet on here and create a shaker card if I wanted to. That would be super cute. Somebody do this and make a shaker card and then send me a picture, because that would be super cute. And then these come off real quick. And if you're like me, on my studio floor, these will end up looking like little confetti pieces, like I had a party. It could happen. So I'm going to put this right on here. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it just a little bit better. There's no reason you can't see the details. Okay, so I've added this, and see how it's all up. So it's all raised a little bit. Now I'm going to do my stamping and my some assembly required. So I'm going to use Night of Navy because I'm using what the cardstock or what the Designer Series paper tells me to. It works better for me. So I just put those two together and stamped right on it just like that. So my camp ladies, that's how they did it too. So that's how they put it right on there. Then I've got this. This is my flirty. And I'm going to add my pretty little flowers. And these flowers come from, you know what? Not the words. I think these flowers come from the peach set. Because I had these right next to each other at camp, and I think that's why I decided I had them at stations next to each other. If you ever want to see how I have my camps and classes set up, I did a little video so you could see. So here's some of my scrap paper that I ran through, because I ran a bunch of stuff through so I could have different patterns to put in here. So I'm going to stick my pattern down at the bottom, and I ran it through. It also is textured out with that pretty leafy background. Put this up here. That goes right in there. And then of course, again, I have my favorite ribbon that came back. This is that metallic mesh, and because it ties so flat and gives so much drama, it's one of my favorites, because I can stick it on this and still seal it down, and it goes flat right in here. I'm going to put my seal in here this time, so when I stick this down, I can pop that right in there. Stick it down. Yay! Okay, and then this is one of my favorite embellishments. These are the Artistic Blooms adhesive back sequins, and I like to lift this and kind of cut off the back and keep them in the case, or I get them everywhere. So I'm going to add some of these fun sequins so that I have a party going on right here. And you know, these are one of those things that it mails so flat, it's just fantastic. And all of the colors in this, I swear, are in my Designer Series paper. If they weren't, I still might use them anyway, because they're a party waiting to happen. Then they go right back in here. And I can just close this back up. Almost like I got its own little package. Oh my gosh, I love these. Okay, there you go. So and you get some extra pieces then. I have these sitting on my desk to use on some other card. So here you go. 2 different patterns, 2 different looks. Pull it down so you can see it. Thanks, friend, for lending an ear and keeping a straight face. Have a great day. Stamp with you again soon. Bye.